Dr. Asim, we are also feeling shame here with our fellow journalist, so-called mainstream compromised media. And at least on the street of London, someone has the courage and they came out and they spoke for you. So let me clap for you, Dr. Asim Malhotra, that you have done a splendid work. Now, we are starting our discussion. Dr. Asim and Johan, my first question is, what do you think about WHO?
So that's a great question to start with, Ashutosh, because, and the reason you're asking this question is, why have we got so many things wrong in this pandemic? That ultimately we were guided by the WHO. And if the WHO were doing things independently and scientifically in terms of their policies, we probably would be in a much better position that we've been in. You know, whether it's in relation to use of masks, whether it's about lockdown policies, or more specifically in relation to the vaccines and how they were distributed, how they were mandated, and all without informed consent. But to answer your question more specifically, and this actually relates to some of my own investigation previously, is that unfortunately, for a number of reasons, the WHO isn't independent. One of the things I'm known for as a public health campaigner, as a cardiologist, as an activist, is my initial work on exposing the excess harms of excess sugar consumption. This was international work. It was even covered in the Times of India. I was the first science director of an organization called Action on Sugar, which was launched in 2014. And very quickly, through my own analyses in medical journals, we managed to bring out a tax on sugary drinks in the UK within 2 or 3 years of me being really at the forefront of the advocacy movement. The reason I mention that is one of the problems behind why it took so long, despite very strong scientific evidence that sugar was harmful, for the WHO to change their guidance, which they ultimately did in 2014, is that they were pressured in 2003 by the American government, who said that they would withdraw funding from the WHO if they did not, in fact, if they implemented new sugar reduction guidelines. And we understand that happened because of lobbying from Coca-Cola. So the question really is, who's calling the shots? And Margaret Chan, the former director of the WHO, very recently said that 70% of the funding of the WHO comes with strings attached. So for example, the second biggest funder of the WHO now is Bill Gates. Bill Gates himself, his own foundation, has special interests in companies such as McDonald's, Coca-Cola, and heavily invested stocks in pharmaceutical companies. So we're not getting independent information. We're getting commercially influenced information. And of course, the commercial interests are primarily there to make profit for shareholders, not to give people the best treatment. And we've seen what I would describe as a catastrophic failure in public health, certainly in the way that we distributed and we advised on the vaccine take-up, whether it was, we'll talk about that shortly, whether it was AstraZeneca, COVID Shield in India, or what we've been experiencing in other parts of the world, which is, you know, very, very significant evidence of harm from the Pfizer mRNA vaccines.